What's going on, guys? Today we're back with a new video, and in today's one I want to go through a few points and stuff that I think could make DayZ 1.14 even better. Now, before you start going hating, I think DayZ 1.14 is one of the best updates they've released in a very long time. I really am a big fan of DayZ 1.14, but there are some different things that could be done in game to make it a little bit better. I wrote down a list of a few things and I'm going to run through them. So one of the things that I've noticed while playing the experimental version of DayZ is it would be nice to have some type of attachment on military and hunting backpacks that allows us to carry our gas mask on our backpacks instead of putting it in the inventory of our backpack. NBC clothing was downsized in this update, but gas masks were not, so they do take up quite a lot of space in the inventory, especially if you're using those combat mask ones where the filter is not interchangeable, so you have to carry multiple of those masks and it becomes very difficult to have enough inventory space for everything that you might need. So a thing that we could do is have an item attachment on military and hunting backpacks that allows us to be able to carry a gas mask on them. The only reason I'm saying put them on military and hunting backpacks is if we put them on civilian ones, I think it would be a little bit too overpowered, so it also gives the player a sense to go out and actually try and find these better backpacks to give them more storage space. Another idea that I think we discussed in the DayZ podcast, that it would be cool if there was a separate bag attachment for NBC gear that was specifically dedicated to NBC gear, where you could store all your gear in that and it clipped onto the underside of your backpack, so then your backpack's inventory space is completely empty and you have this separate NBC backpack that is underneath that carries all your NBC gear. That would be another really good idea to sort out this inventory kind of issue, especially on vanilla. Another feature that could be added in is make belts more useful. So in game at the moment with a belt, I think you can attach a knife sheath, a canteen and a radio, if I'm not mistaken, to a belt, but it would be really cool if we were able to attach the red medical pouch to a belt as well, so we could carry around medical supplies in that. Even having a gas mask slot on the belt as well would be another really cool idea. Again, just freeing up more inventory space as well, because trying to manage your inventory space in 1.14 really is a bit of an issue, and it would be cool to see that kind of sorted and made better, especially for the vanilla players. When you're unmodded, it's not going to worry or matter that much. There is also a few things that were talked about in the DayZ podcast Discord that would make toxic zones a little bit better as well. One of them was when an animal is in the static toxic zones, or if it gets hit with an artillery strike. The gas obviously kills the animal, so it would be cool if we could see those animals become contaminated over time and their meat becomes contaminated now, because if you cut up a animal in a toxic zone right now, you can eat that meat perfectly fine. It's not damaged in any way at all, but it would be cool if it did become contaminated, and then maybe even there is some way to disinfect it with either the POX injection or some disinfectant, something like that. Would be a cool thing to see. I also had this thought, and I don't know if it would work really well, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. I had a thought that maybe it would be cool if the artillery strikes done damage to a base. So if you were in a certain town and you were a certain distance away from where an artillery strike hits, that it does damage to your base, and the closer you are to that artillery strike, the more damage it is going to do to your base. So like damaged walls, maybe doors, stuff like that, and then they need to be repaired over time. The longer you leave it, the more your base is going to be damaged. It also creates a threat to other players as well, because the more damaged your base is, the easier it's going to be able to be raided. So you gotta have to kind of choose and plan more precisely where you want to keep your base. Another thing that would be really cool to see would be makeshift NBC clothing. It'd be cool if we could take like the tarps that they added in 1.10 and some duct tape and was able to craft some type of makeshift NBC clothing. I think it would be a really cool idea. Now maybe this NBC clothing doesn't last as long, or it takes damage while in toxic zones or something like that. Who knows how it would work, but I think something like that would be really cool to do. Just another thought as well, if you saw my M3S video that I put up the other day, in that one I did mention that it would be cool to see either vehicles be able to be locked and unlocked with lockpicks. It just gives another kind of sense of security and you know, lockpicks are kind of sometimes difficult enough to find, so if you have one, it's going to be a really, really, you know, big play. And if you find a car, you might be able to unlock it and steal it that way or something like that. And having camo net covers for vehicles as well, especially if you are, you know, going to turn a vehicle into a base, for example, and want to hide it. It'll just be another way to kind of camouflage it a bit. I think overall it'd be really, really good, because most people don't bother with building a base, and it'd be nice to have that feature there. So if you want to just stash a car somewhere, put a camo net over it, maybe it helps with persistence as well, so it doesn't despawn while the net is over it or something. Be another cool way of doing it as well. So yeah, there are my few things that I thought would make DayZ 1.14 even better. There probably is a few more, but I'm trying to focus on mainly what would make 1.14 better itself, and not make the game better in general. So that's why I didn't mention like helicopters or a massive base building overhaul or anything like that, because they wouldn't make 1.14 itself better. They'd make the game better. But I'm trying to focus right now on 1.14. So if you have any other ideas that would make 1.14 better, or you have any other thoughts, be sure to leave me know in the comment section down below as usual. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, until then, I should catch you guys next one. So peace out for now.